Welcome to Thriller Recaps. In this movie, The Fallout, Jenna Ortega and her friend go into the school bathroom and get into trouble. They don't know if they'll make it out alive. Watch the whole thing to find out what happens. And if you like it, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll explain everything that happens as we go along. The movie begins with Vada, who is seen in the bathroom with a toothbrush in her mouth, dozing off. Her little sister, Amelia, walks in asking for her primer, causing Vada to wake up. They have breakfast and head to school. Class begins, and Vada gets a distressing text from her younger sister saying 911. Text me, claiming there is an emergency. Worried, she excuses herself and goes to the restroom. She calls her sister, obviously concerned. Amelia shyly tells her that she bleeds in her private part, asking if this means she's got her first period. Vada relaxed, then asked her sister if she'd been eager to see the period and why she texted 911, teasing her. Amelia says it isn't as she expected and threatens to hang up if Vada laughs at her. Vada then lightens things up by cracking a small joke. Vada asks if she has everything she needs to take care of herself and for her period and jokingly praises her sister. Vada promises her sister dinner and congratulates her. In the bathroom, Vada meets Mia doing her makeup and told Mia that she doesn't need makeup to look beautiful because she already is. Suddenly, they hear a large bang. Vada says it must be gunshots, so she and Mia run into a toilet stall while the shooter continues. Mia fears they'll die, and Vada cries silently. In a short time, the shooting stops, and someone rushes in and hides in the toilet close by. They then realize the person was one of their mates and not the shooter. They tell him to join them in the stall. He comes to join them, and they see that he had a lot of blood on his shirt. Vada asks if he's shot. The boy Quinton explained what happened outside and also tells them that his only brother was killed. They all cry until they hear sirens, meaning the police have come to save them. At home, Vada refuses to speak and keeps crying. At the dinner table, while discussing, Amelia shows her a list on her phone and asked her if she knew anyone who had died from the shooting. Amelia told her not to worry, that she will be safe and that she'll get a bulletproof backpack. The incident changed Vada as Vada becomes really depressed, refusing to talk to anyone, including her best friend Nick. However, she texts Mia, and they talk about the incident. Mia gives her the shocking update about Quinton's brother. She tells her that the little boy passed away. Vada complains that she feels lonely. Mia says she's more lonely because she lives home alone as her parents are in Japan and left her all by herself. Mia invites Vada over if she needs somewhere to stay and someone to talk to in person. That night, Vada has nightmares about the shootings and could not sleep well. The next day, trying to make Vada feel better and less lonely, her mother drives her over to Nick's place so she could be around friends. Nick had also experienced the shootings and tells Vada about his own experience. Right now, he's working towards stopping such occurrences from happening again. The news outlets keep talking about the shooting, and Vada gets bored with it. She seems more interested in Mia's Instagram dances. She goes over to Mia's place after lying to her mother that she's going to Nick's. Vada appreciates the beauty of Mia's place. She also learns that Mia's parents are artists. Knowing her parents aren't around, Vada asks Mia when she thinks they'll return. Mia tells her she has no idea as they're never around. Vada then mentions she's watched Mia's dance videos, and tells how she looks different in her dance video, and it's enticing and beautiful. Vada then tells Mia that Quinton's brother's funeral service is the next day and asks her if she thinks it's weird. Mia tells her it isn't and even proposes to the funeral. They both agree to go together. Vada then asks Mia if she's been having nightmares. Mia replied that she hasn't been able to sleep well ever since the shooting. The following day, they both attend the funeral feeling down. Vada also attends more funerals of the people that had died at her school during the shooting. Her depression gets worse, and she even begins to shiver randomly in fear while doing basic things. Amelia, her sister, tries to cheer her up using different means including offering her Starbucks, but Vada declines all her offers. Amelia notices her sister has now gotten so distant. Vada visits Mia since she acts less depressed around Mia. They sometimes discuss Mia's dad and their jobs. Mia tells Vada she dances every day, but hasn't been able to dance or felt like dancing since the incident. Vada tells Mia her parents worry a lot about her, so she doesn't tell them things. Mia and Vada get so close that Vada doesn't even hang out with Nick as much as she used to. She, however, doesn't hide it from Nick and even watches his speech at the peaceful march he'd organized. Vada's nightmares continue, and soon enough school finally reopens, as it has been 2 weeks since the shooting happened, but Vada isn't ready to go back to school. Vada begins therapy, but she doesn't take it seriously as she feels it's unnecessary. When the therapist asks about the shootings and how they've made her feel, she brushes it off, saying she's fine and can control her emotions. The therapist gives her a worksheet to track her feelings. After therapy, her mother tells her the therapist thinks she's doing well despite what she's been through. Vada asks if she'll have to go again, and her mom replies by saying, "I don't know," and asking if she is ready to go back to school. Mia continues to hang out with Vada and has now resumed her dance classes. One day, Quinton texts Vada, thanking her for attending his brother's funeral and asks how she's holding up. Their school starts an awareness campaign on the shootings, while Mia and Vada, who still haven't resumed school, hang out more. Vada is introduced to ecstasy to help her cope, having been introduced to alcohol earlier in the movie. The ecstasy causes her to vent, saying she feels nothing, while Mia, who's used to smoking, seems more relaxed. At home, Vada's eating habits have also changed. Her mother admonishes her to return to school, fearing she might fall too far behind. Vada promises her mother that she won't fall behind in schoolwork, but her mother just wants to see the sparkle Vada always had back, and is trying hard to be there and do her best for her. Vada ignores this and asks her mother if she knew Amelia got her period. Her mother, surprised, asks when. Vada replies that Amelia probably didn't want her to know. Vada returns to her room and calls Mia, telling her that her mother is trying to make her go back to school and asks when she would be going back. Mia tells her that her dad has allowed homeschooling and assured her she could study from home as long as she wants. They fall asleep on the call. The next day, Vada returns to school. Things have become different. Every student is thoroughly searched, and safety education is taught to educate the students on what to do in case of another shooting. This bores Vada, so she leaves to go to the restroom. Unfortunately, she's scared to walk in, remembering the incident. Classes continue as usual, but Vada just panics throughout. After school, as she rushes to leave, she steps on a soda can that somehow sounds like a gunshot, causing her to pee herself. Luckily, no one saw her as she leaves, angry with herself. At home during dinner, Amelia chats with her parents, giving them details of what happened in school. Her parents ask Vada how school was, but she replies it's low-key, and everyone's trying to move on. At a parking lot, Vada asks a stranger for ecstasy before returning to school. She gets high due to the ecstasy and begins to act abnormally, dancing in class while her classmates look at her confused. She even swallows pen ink before realizing what it is. She immediately asks to go to the bathroom after noticing her ink-stained mouth. She leaves class and texts Nick that she's gotten high. She slips slowly on the staircase while imagining herself drowning. Nick immediately appears at the scene, and shocked, he asks Vada what she's taken and what's on her face, after which he drives her home. At home, Vada is all better as she washes her mouth in the bathroom when her sister walks in. She refuses to talk with Amelia and leaves the bathroom. Later, Quinton calls her, as she had mistakenly sent a text to him when she was high. He reads her text to her, and she finds it unbelievable. He then asks why she did drugs. She tells him she doesn't even know, and she explains how she got ecstasy. She invites him over to her place to see a movie with her, thinking his presence may make her feel better. In the kitchen, Vada is making popcorn as she prepares for Quinton's arrival. Amelia curiously asks if Quinton is her boyfriend because she's never been with a straight guy before, but she ignores her. Soon, Quinton arrives and Vada begs her mom not to embarrass her. They watch a movie together when Amelia barges in, curiously asking what movie they were watching before announcing that the slime she was making is almost ready. She offers to let them try it, and Quinton immediately says he wants to play with it. So Amelia goes to get it. As Amelia leaves, they discuss memes and movies before Quinton's mood suddenly changes as he received a message on his phone, and he says he has to leave. She says her farewell, and tells him she hopes everything is okay at home. They hug before he leaves. As he leaves, Vada goes to the kitchen to find her sister and her mom playing. She leaves them and goes to the bathroom, locking the door behind her. She leaves home and goes to Mia's house, where they discuss like they normally do. Vada confesses she feels so comfortable with Mia, and Mia confesses the same. Vada changes the conversation to ask if Mia had lost her virginity. Mia tells her she hasn't, and Vada says she dances like a very attractive princess. Later that night, the two friends dance on the streets while drinking punch and taking pictures. They later return home, where while lying down on the floor, Vada initiates a kiss that leads to them getting intimate and doing the do. The morning after, Vada returns home without saying goodbye to Mia as she's asleep. As she gets home, she's met by her parents and Amelia, who ask of her whereabouts. She lies, saying she was at Nick's place, but her parents tell her Nick has been calling all morning wondering where she was. She apologizes and walks out on them. Her parents follow her angrily. Later, her mother tries to talk to her. She tells her she slept at Mia's place and got drunk. She confesses she doesn't even like alcohol, but she had to drink because she wanted to feel something. Her mother, surprised, says absolutely nothing. Later that day, she goes to Nick's place, But he doesn't even want to talk to her as he says he's really busy. She apologizes for not calling back. He tells her he was worried about her and that he's given her space to love and heal. She claims she's been dealing with everything her own way. He argues she hasn't dealt with anything. Vada angrily leaves and goes to meet Quinton. Quinton tries to tell her Nick was just hurting and was probably afraid. Vada then apologizes for calling him and dumping all her problems on him. She then asks about his brother, saying she just wanted to know him. Quinton tells her he feels his brother and knows he's still with him. Vada again initiates a kiss with Quinton, but he stops her, saying he's going through a lot. She gets embarrassed and leaves immediately, crying. Almost immediately, she gets a text from Mia asking if she's mad at her, but she ignores it. At night, Amelia goes to her sister's room, claiming she's unable to sleep, and sleeps beside her. She asks Vada why she's always at the house in North Bay. Vada replies that's where Mia lives. Amelia then apologizes for almost getting her sister killed at the shooting. Vada tells her it wasn't safe anywhere, and it was never her fault. Crying, Amelia asks why she's been so mad at her. She continues, saying she's never home anymore, never talks to her, and never went to the dinner she promised her to talk about her period and period cramps. Vada says she isn't mad at her sister and apologizes for her actions. She then tells her sister that during the shooting, while hiding in the bathroom, she thought she was going to die and only thought of her sister, claiming she's her favorite person in the world. The duo then cuddle till they fall asleep. The day after, Vada goes to a hillside with her dad. She tells her father she feels empty. Her father replies she went through something no one should ever have to go through and knows she's really scared. To make themselves feel better, they shout swear words on the hill. And kept shouting. She screams she's scared to go to school every day after the incident, while her father says he's scared to take his kids to school. They mention their fears, letting go of everything that's making their hearts heavy. Vada returns to Mia's home but meets no one, so she goes in while shouting Mia's name. She finds her drunk. When Mia gets better, she asks Vada if she hates her. Vada said she doesn't but was scared that their friendship might be ruined after the encounter they both had. Mia says that would not happen and told Vada that she wants to start dancing again, and Vada offers to follow her. Vada goes back to the therapist, showing her a picture of her doodle. She then tells her she's had ups and downs but feels like she felt everything, and she guesses it's good. She claims she's scared to be in school and doesn't feel safe anymore, as others like Nick have been using the incident that happened to change the world, and she feels she's unable to do it, and it's kind of ended their friendship. She claims she's missed him. She says she feels mad because she had no idea a guy with a gun could mess up her life in a matter of minutes and believes nobody should have died. She confesses she's having a hard time moving on. When she returns home, she hugs her mom, apologizing and saying she needs to be more honest about her life. She tells her mother she's been finding it hard to move on. She also confesses she's slept with someone and has taken ecstasy. She then promises her shocked mother that she would never do such again. She tells her mother the person she slept with was a girl and assures her she wouldn't get pregnant. Vada, now looking better as she tries to forget the shooting and move on with a better state of mind, texts Mia. But suddenly a news flash comes on her phone talking about 12 students dead from another school shooting, which totally changes her mood as she begins to cry and gasp. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. I would also appreciate a comment because it helps like you can't even imagine. It's a new channel and every bit of support counts. 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 Every